Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome to another episode of Mark My Words, where I am Mark, and these are my words. And today I'm going to be talking about experience with retail. Now, this is something I want to address lately because, especially during the pandemic and everything, retail and essential workers are getting it all barrels. So, if you work in retail and you're listening to this, then I salute you. First of all, a lot of people forget how to treat people in retail. Some people have got this kind of snobbery, you just work in a shop, you don't mean anything, and that's definitely not the case. Treat everyone as you want to be treated yourself. That's the way I've always been brought up, and that's the way I'm going to carry on doing it. And, there are some retail workers, the time's taken toll on them. They've been there so many years, they hate their life, they hate their job, they hate whoever comes up and asks them where the bloody butter is, they don't want to know. They're the ones I call the little rays of sunshine, because, ironically, they bring little sunshine into my life because they entertain me about how miserable they are. It's just great. Well, I've done a lot of experience in retail. It's one of the first jobs I've ever done. So I've worked with different companies like M&S, The Range, Asda, and I also did security in other supermarkets as well. You can imagine me there, I wouldn't fit in at all. Because, first of all, I was happy and enthusiastic, where everybody else is just my soul's gone, I don't want to know. So, literally, the look of the smile on my face used to make people disgusted, so... what did I do? I just carried on doing it. I could see the effects that this kind of job has on people, and I didn't want that for me. I didn't want to be miserable. So tough shit, they're having Mr. Happy. I think one of the most entertaining things about retail is it does attract certain people, especially if they've been there years. I call them the wannabe managers. They've probably been there about 5 or 6 years, they haven't been promoted at all, and then they use young people to kind of feel superior, so they try to delegate to them. Now, if you're in that position, and you have the chance to give people advice and little tips, then I'd say do it, but don't act like you're above other people. It's not acceptable at all. Not only does it make that person feel the size of a pea, it makes you look like a twat, so don't do it. I've had a few of them. In one company, I had, literally, my first day, I was picking things off the top of the shelf, and then putting them into where they needed to be. And she said, are you nearly done there? I said, no, I got a few things. She said, can you do it faster? Now, this is someone on the same level as me. I was like, you cheeky bitch. This is my first day, right? Not my first week, my first day. I know, a lot of retail jobs are the same, but a lot of the systems are different. So you need to learn the rhythms and how quick people work, which is normal. But this one just didn't seem to understand at all. So I was just like, oh, shut up, will you? With people like that, I end up attacking them with sarcasm. So they tend to leave me alone after that then. I was just grow the fuck up and get a grip. Now, this one's going to be an interesting subject. Funny customer stories. I'm pretty sure everyone has experienced, especially the ones that work in retail. I don't know about you guys, but I say people do not cease to amaze me when I work in these kind of environments, because, I don't know, it just attracts, a different kind of stupid. You always have the people who come to ask you where the butter is, and only because they can't be bothered to look, so they thought I'd ask you. Because you wear a uniform, you know everything in the square block radius. It doesn't matter that you work in a different, department or anything, your non-fridge. They go, where's the yogurt? I'm like, how the fuck should I know? The funniest thing I probably dealt with a lot in one of my retail positions is when I've been on tills and you get into the payment part, so they choose card, but they just point and hand the card to you. I'm like, oh, do you want me to go to the cash point? Or they can't see the little machine right in front of them. I think I got to one point where I just took it off and scratched my head and then give it back to them just to see what they do. Our favourite one, especially when you go to a higher up supermarket, saying if you go to Waitrose or M&S, you always get these old dears that go in, they'll do this massive shop, so literally they've got a receipt the size of their arm, and they get a biro out, and they go through their entire trolley, and they tick everything off to the letter. And then you get the ones who go, oh, you charged me too much for this. It's like, you charged me for one extra 5p bag. I'm like, are you serious? I said, there are homeless people on the street, and she's worried about a little bit of 5p. I don't expect people to be perfect, especially, people who work in retail. Some little mistakes happened. And sometimes technology, especially the tills, they freeze all the time. They could double count. It's not always the people's fault. And then you got to go through the flipping thing of the refund process, which isn't fun at all. And I'm just like, oh, fuck off. I understand, when you get, stores like M&S, they got, certain meal deals. Yeah, I understand people wanting that corrected because, it's expensive anyway, but otherwise you're just cheating them out of a bargain. So I understand when people go, oh, that deal hasn't come through, because I used to double check in situations like that. They go, right, it'll tell me at the end what's been taken off. If it hasn't, I'll go through everything and make sure you got the right items. So that's the way I used to use it. Another one, my first ever experience of retail was working with my father. He used to run his own business. He used to do a greeting card shop. I had this weird request from a girl. She came in, she said, I want to buy my friend a card, right? But the only thing is she's got 90% brain damage and she's basically a vegetable. And then I said, the only thing I can think of really is a get well soon card, because someone's in hospital or something, that's usually what they get. And they said, well, I can't really say get well because she's not really going to get well, so I really don't know. I'm like, this was a bit of a shocking one, so I almost felt like laughing. I'm glad I didn't, because I would have looked like a right evil twat. But this one, I was just like, no, I think you're better off going for flowers or something like that. But the funniest one, I don't know what it is with old people, like, they're probably like the funniest people on the fucking planet. I said they've got all that experience, this ain't shit, they just don't care, and it's great. I had an old woman, she's come in to get her sister a birthday card. She had, where's the girl birthday cards? I said, right, they're over there now. And she said, can you help me pick one? I said, no, that one's too nice, sis. I don't want to get him a nice one because we're not close. I was like, what? I said, if you're not close, why are you getting her a card then? You gotta keep the pleasantries up now. So it's just like, what the fuck? No, I'd say I do admire her effort, like not liking her sister and still trying to get that, so... Another thing you tend to get when you work in retail is strange requests off customers. Like, they'll ask you for weird shit. I was going into a Lidl's and someone asked one of the managers for evaporated milk, and I was like, now, for me, I don't shop for, like, baking stuff or anything like that, so I'm quite green when it comes to that. And in the end, I'm listening to her, I was like, what, fucking evaporated milk? What? And then he said it sold out. I went up to him, I said, next time, I said, boil some. I said, they'll soon evaporate. And he just laughed his head off. Yeah, I've had another one like that. Like, surprisingly, this was another ingredient, vegan wine. Yeah, I got asked for vegan wine. I never thought that would happen. And turned out the company did have it. It was a Yellowtail Shiraz. It was the only one they did. What baffled me at the time was, I said, isn't wine made from grapes? Surely that is, like, friendly, but there's, like, a chemical they put in wine that stops it from tasting bitter, and I think it's not vegan. So I think it's probably animal processed, so they can't do that. So the moral of the story is, be nice to people who work in shops. They're people too. I think you don't really have that understanding unless you've worked in a shop yourself. And I found that after I've had it, I've been unemployed, then I go to a shop, like, I actually go to the till, I ask people how their day is, and at the end all the time I say, have a good shift, or what's left of it or anything, because I either get the ones who've started the shift or just about to finish, so I always miss out on the fun for asking them the decent questions that make sense. Thank you so much for listening, guys. Now, it's been a real pleasure. Remember to tune in every Wednesday for new content. Please be sure to like, subscribe, share. If you got any funny customer stories, then please let me know in the comments. I would love to have a bit of a giggle and hear different people's experiences. Like I said, the general public never cease to amaze you. So, thank you and good day, guys.